Good evening, beekeepers. So today is the 8th of March. Today I've been painting hives, as you can see from my outfit. So I just wanted to make a quick video to tell a little bit about our apiary and what we do. As you saw in the latest video, we were releasing queens, so we finished releasing queens in almost all of the hives as of yesterday. And why do we do that? I think there will be a lot of questions regarding that. So we cage our queens for the whole winter, because in Lithuania we have a temperate winter where bees go into clusters, and there are some problems if we don't cage the queen. Some colonies rear brood during winter, and it can cause problems. So firstly, rearing brood not even in the winter but already in the fall season causes a lot of problems. So firstly, when bees don't stop rearing brood in the fall, what happens? The winter bees that should have gone into wintering and preserved their fat bodies, they use up them to breed and to feed new generations. So it causes quite some problems because we don't get as much winter bees ready for the winter. So that's one of the reasons why we cage the queen around mid-August, start of the August, somewhere around the time, so that we stop the brood production and we preserve winter bees for the winter. But the caging time, it depends on various factors. When the temperature drops in your place, is there any late honey flows? If there is late honey flow, you can't cage the queen because the winter bees will go into honey flow and eventually die, because they will just work out themselves. So you have to time it cautiously. You have to think about that. Don't do it too early, but don't do it too late either. So it's a little bit playing and testing going on. In different apiaries we have different times when we cage the queens. For example, here we caged, I think, July, end of July, and we released them yesterday. So August, September, October, November, December, January, February, they were in the cages for 7 months. There was no brood, and the colony survived just fine, as you saw yesterday in yesterday's video. So that's one thing, rearing brood in autumn. Another problem that we face is varroa mites. We actually do, and I'll show you during the other videos, we cage queens 2 times a year. Well, some of the colonies we cage 2 times a year. So we do one caging for the whole winter to prevent the use of fat bodies, so that the worker winter bees don't die. Another caging that we do is in the middle of the season, and the primary use of it is for varroa control. So we get the colonies broodless. There are a number of ways it can be done, like manage the broodless colonies, but we try to induce brood break one way or the other. Caging is the easiest, but there are other methods that we do, and I'll show you during the season. You can take out the brood, you can split the colony different ways to get the brood break when there is no capped brood, and then you use oxalic acid to eliminate the varroa mites, and that's it. So one caging or one brood break during season and another brood break during the wintering period works very well for us. Our colonies stay strong, the bees don't die. I think this year we lost 2 colonies, yeah. We lost 2 colonies, but it was due to not bees problem. It was our fault. We didn't see that they were going into starvation and they just died out of starvation, and that's all. So it was on our fault. So yeah, so now what's happening in the colony is, just to give a brief overview, we release the queens, so they start breeding the first generation, and it's very important because first generation is the most and at foremost important generation of bees. So when winter bees breed the first generation has to be very strong, because it will further breed the second generation and etc. And as it is known, one winter bee, can only breed one first generation bee, one spring bee. So what we have to do when we release the queen is to provide the best optimal environment for them to breed the first generation. And we do that by reducing the nest size so that it's not too large, so we keep it compact, so we preserve the temperature. So as you saw in the previous video, we either use dividers to reduce the size of the nest to around 6-7 Langstroth frames, or then we use maybe you can see here, or then we use small frames, super frames, that's 145 millimeters, 3 or 2 supers. And what happens, the warmth, the heat goes up, so the queen works only in the top super, which is 10 frames, so around 5 deep frames, and the whole brood production happens now in the top compartment. So that's how we keep the warmth, so the winter bees don't need to produce too much and waste too much energy on heating up the hive, so they can focus primarily on feeding the first generation. Secondly, we provide them with plethora of food, lots of honey, so that bees don't need to heat up the honey, we either put it in the lower boxes, because we don't need the bees to be keeping warm the honey, so it's either in the lower boxes. Of course, there's 2 frames of honey, full frames, and then overall in the hive there should be at least 8 kilos of food, because now we had a couple of days of nice weather, plus 14, plus 15 degrees, but as we can see from the weather forecast, it will be going down quite soon. So next week we have 2-3 degrees and minus, so the bees won't be flying out and they can't get any resources, and nothing is blooming yet. We have only hazelnuts a little bit producing pollen, and that's basically it for time being. So we have to provide them food. The other thing that we have to provide them is pollen, protein is the most important now, because the colony won't die of starvation if you provide enough carbohydrates for them, so honey, but they won't flourish as much if you don't provide them protein. So what we do is either we use the bee bread or we use pollen, but now we use, because we didn't have too much left over the winter, so now we put some pollen patties so that our first generation grows strong. So yeah, it's quite straightforward. We release the queen, make the brood nest compact and concise to preserve the heat. We put enough food stores, we put pollen or pollen patties, and that's it. For now, for 21 days, they will breed the first generation. So it will be around maybe 5 Langstroth frames of brood, which will start hatching in 21 days, and only then we can start to make the nest wider, to make it bigger. Then we'll take out the dividers, put some more frames because there will be new bees hatching, and they can keep the warmth and they can breed more and feed more larvae. So then we'll only then we'll try to make the nests larger. So in Langstroth's, what we do, we take out the dividers and we fill out the whole 10 frames. In the other hives, with the honey supers, we just switch this upper with the second one, so the brood goes down, then the heat goes up, and the queen goes up again, so it has new space to work in. So that's pretty much it for now. It's just the beginning of season. We have to get the colonies ready for breeding queens for the around 5th of May. So we have 2 months, quite enough of time to breed 2 or 3 generations. So they just started now. It will take 2 months to get them fully grown, and then we can start producing either queens or start producing honey. And yeah, so in our apiary we have now around 130 colonies, and two main streams that we focus on is queens. That's our main priority, and another priority is honey. So in the upcoming videos I'll show you how we develop the colonies and how do we manage them in the spring. But then we'll split also videos into queen breeding, royal jelly collection, and of course honey. And we'll have also videos about varroa treatment and etc. So yeah, keep tuned.